I just discovered something. This article I stumbled upon while looking for some pictures of Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh. Journalist Emma Cook claimed that Diana called Sophie Little Miss Goody Two-Shoes. She also allegedly asked her sister-in-law and friend, Sarah Ferguson, why is she getting such an easy ride, speaking about Sophie. We were thrown to the wolves. Sound familiar? Hey everybody, I'm Beebs Kelley and welcome back to another video. Today is Tuesday, or at least it's supposed to be Tuesday when this video comes out, and that is the day that we will occasionally chat a little bit more about what's going on with Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, the royal family in general, wee bit of gossip, wee bit of discussion. If you don't like these types of videos, if you're here just for fashion, don't worry, Friday's fashion edition is on schedule and ready to go for you guys, so I will see you then. But if you do like these videos, I have a quick confession first. This video was completely filmed and ready to go a couple of days ago, and I even spent hours editing it, and then somehow the file got corrupt. So this is take two. We are doing it over again, and it was just a little rough. I feel like I have been a little bit off. It's because I've been having some technology difficulties. I have to get a new laptop because the two laptops that I have that I can use are just petering out. They are either a little too old or a little too outdated or whatever, and they don't have the power to bring you guys the fashion editions and the Gossip Tuesdays and the videos that you guys love. So I was having a little bit of a struggle behind the scenes the last few weeks, so I apologize if I was not as peppy in my videos as usual. I should be able to get a new laptop and get that all sorted out within the next week or two, and we shall be back to smooth sailing, hopefully anyway. So back to business, sorry. This quote sounds familiar not because it's commonly known that Diana was saying this about Sophie in private to Sarah. No, it is not a quote that we attach to Diana, at least not anybody I know. This quote is familiar because Meghan said like almost the exact same thing in her Netflix mockumentary, as people call it, or show, but it was one of the big feature moments that she had in that show where she over-dramatically, bad acting, I was being thrown to the wolves. That's where we recognize that quote from, and that made me think that that's kind of creepy, is it not? I had no idea about this quote. In fact, this article, I mean, like I said, I stumbled upon it while looking at outfits for Sophie. If we are to believe this quote, then Diana felt thrown to the wolves. She felt like she was having a harder time in regards to joining the royal family, perhaps the press. There's no elaboration here on exactly what she meant. However, she was indeed talking about Sophie at the time. And at the time, the press was comparing Sophie and Diana a lot. But one could argue that Diana was praised a lot more in the press than Sophie was. A lot of you have even commented that Sophie had a little bit of a rough go in the press when she first joined the family. She really didn't like, and she publicly said a few times that she didn't like being compared to Diana. She didn't enjoy that. She didn't think it was fair or a good idea or what have you. And she has also said that she didn't like the pressure to step into Diana's shoes after she had tragically passed. She said she is not the same and she can't fulfill that role, and there was a lot of desire from the public at the time for Sophie to perhaps do that, to sort of step into that role or fill that void to some extent. So it was kind of an awkward and difficult situation for Sophie during that time, but also joining the family was a bit awkward and difficult for Sophie. She has recounted a time that when she was at one of the first family engagements that Diana was also present at, and it was the first time she had met Diana, it sort of intimidated her in a way, sort of stared her down. Seems when reading it on paper, the account of events does seem a little bit socially aggressive, if you will, that there was an air of intimidation and competition coming from Diana towards Sophie when Sophie joined the family. It actually made Sophie cry, and so Sophie and Diana were not off to a good start. However, this quote could also have been more so in reference to the press. It's my understanding, I mean, Diana was before my time, it's my understanding that Diana had a quite easy time with the press, that people really loved her. I mean, she had really amazing, shining, glowing headlines all the time, so I'm not exactly sure. You guys enlighten me on more of that dynamic at the time if you know, or what your opinions on the matter are. Back to the subject, regardless, The fact that Meghan Markle knew about this quote, because there is no way that that is a coincidence. Just absolutely not. Using the near exact same phrase, Diana saying, "We were thrown to the wolves," speaking about her and Fergie, while Meghan Markle says, "I was being thrown to the wolves." It's literally the exact same phrase. For Meghan Markle to use that is not a coincidence. There's 100% no chance that she just happened to use that phrase. That would be ridiculous. So I don't believe that for 1 second. Meghan Markle had to have known about this quote. And when I first read it, I was just saving pictures of Sophie. And I lost the article. I didn't save the article at the time. And then I was like, that is super weird, kind of creepy of Meghan. So I went to go find the article, and it took me over half an hour to hunt this article down and this quote down. It was not easy to find again. So it's not something, from my perspective, that is common knowledge. It's not easy to find. It's not out there in the world, easy to look up. So that means Meghan Markle was also digging, studying Diana's life. This is more evidence that Meghan Markle has been really enmeshed in learning about Diana and the royal family, and that she has a lot of knowledge and has done a lot of research to have known this, and then to use it in the Netflix mockumentary is cringy. I mean, that is super strange. No matter how much you like somebody, no matter how much you're a fan of somebody, it is not healthy to try to recreate their life or reenact moments from that person's life. That is not a healthy activity or perspective. That is taking things to a weird space and on a weird level. So that's what makes it seem so unsettling, that a little known quote, something that was an off-the-cuff remark to a friend and confidant about someone else or about the press or both, to be brought back up and used, it just seems so manipulative. And it also seems manipulative in terms of Harry. Harry certainly knows all of these quotes and all of these phrases and all of these things that his mother had said. He remembers conversations with her, for goodness sakes. So for him to hear that again would certainly have a strong impact, I would imagine, and be a manipulative sort of thing for Meghan to do in terms of their relationship. So I don't like that one little bit, and I found it to be super creepy. What do you guys think about that? But we also heard a lot of bad press coming towards Harry and Meghan the last week or two since we did one of these Gossip Tuesdays. There has been so many negative things put out in the press about them. The very presumptuous and super weird request to fly back on Air Force One with Joe Biden after the Queen's funeral. How bizarre. How bizarre. Also rumors that the Beckhams really don't want to ever talk to Meghan Markle or Prince Harry ever again. They're totally super duper done with them. Understandable. We kind of already knew that though. I feel like that's old news, but it's back in the headlines this week. And it just goes to show that all of these things being put out in the news by other people shows how unlikable Harry and Meghan really have become, that people are just actively willing to just say, hey, no, we don't want to be around them, we don't want anything to do with them, we're not friends with them, we're not associated with them, which also links up with the fact that nobody wants to be alone with these people, because the minute you've had alone time with these people, you've been somewhere with them. Harry and Meghan might leak conversations you've had or things that you've said, stealing your privacy away and just saying what they want because they don't really care about your privacy. They'll just say what services their needs. But also the risk that they might make things up. These two have been proven to lie, embellish the truth, use manipulative language the way a toxic person tends to do. If you have an argument with a toxic person, they'll start taking little tidbits of something you said and packaging it different to make it look completely different or sound completely different or be completely different. It's so unacceptable and unfair, and it is a manipulative tactic that is not healthy at all. But Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have shown that that is something they do regularly, freely, and easily. They have no problem manipulating the truth or embellishing facts or flat out lying. So nobody with a PR-focused life So politicians, high-profile celebrities, people who own big companies and businesses, nobody like that wants their PR threatened by Harry and Meghan. They do not want their public image to be damaged at all, to be linked to them at all. They don't want to run the risk of anything coming out from Harry or Meghan about any sort of interactions that they've had. So people are keeping their distance simply because of that. It is the exact same thing that we saw when Harry attended the coronation, that we saw lots of press releases about where Harry was and who he spoke to or didn't. The fact that Harry didn't have any time alone with any member of his family was intentional, and it was publicized intentionally to keep the royal family members safe from these sorts of lies or leaks. So anytime anyone is alone with those people, they are running the risk of literally anything. Who knows? It's open season in terms of Harry and Meghan coming out in the press. So it's not worth that risk, and it reduces the amount of trust to absolute zero. People who have these sorts of high profile positions in life literally can't run that risk because part of their livelihood depends on their public image. Their PR is important to their companies or their livelihoods. So it's understandable that they have to be careful about these sorts of people. We also heard that Harry had called William for a truce, which is absurd. Let's Google the meaning of truce, shall we? It's when two sides agree to stop arguing or fighting. But there was only one side arguing and fighting this whole time. It has only ever been Harry and Meghan throwing bombs, throwing accusations, leaking things, saying stuff, publicizing things, writing books, etc. I doubt anybody involved in these situations wanted those things out there in the public realm. Prince William, no doubt, did not want these types of information in a book about his own body parts, for goodness sakes. Furthermore, no one from the royal family has done any sort of attacking or retaliation to Harry and Meghan at all. People like Harry and Meghan may very well think that, cutting off the lease to Frogmore Cottage or cutting off financial support is a form of fighting or take that as an aggressive sort of retaliation. But most people see that as a reasonable consequence to quitting your duties as a working member of the royal family and moving away and never coming back, except for like a couple of days here and there. So to me, that just seems absurd. A truce is not a one-sided halt to attacks. The only grammatically correct way to handle that would be for Harry to say he's sorry and is not going to attack them anymore, which I doubt will ever happen. However, some people refute that claim and say that there has been no contact between Harry and them. It could be that Harry and Meghan want to put stories like that out to sort of lay the groundwork that they're being amicable, that they're trying to be nice, that they're trying to make nice after everything they did. It could also be that they're trying to just put that out there to get themselves some better PR. And it's not working, in part because it's not true, and in part because it's still lacking that taking responsibility aspect that people are waiting for. I don't see Harry and Meghan ever having anything work out real good unless they take responsibility, because they have just done far too much to people who seem literally wholly normal in their approach to these two who seem wholly not normal in their approach to the rest of the world. The other big story that keeps floating around is that Harry and Meghan are headed for a split. Now, that would surprise exactly no one, because when you have so much negativity and drama and just failures back to back all the time, there's no way your relationship won't be impacted by that. Especially the constant slew of negative PR, losing deals here and there, and friendships and things of that nature really falling by the wayside at a rapid rate over the last few years. There's no way that won't be affected. Goodness, it's hard enough for a couple to adjust to having more children and moving on its own, but moving to a completely different country and losing all that special treatment that Harry has been used to his entire life, everything must seem so unspecial to him now. So I could imagine he and Meghan both being pretty frustrated about things like all the time, which of course is going to impact a relationship. However, I'm not sure that I would see them splitting anytime soon, especially with more toxic types of people. they would view that as a big failure. And at this time, when they have almost zero allies, they kind of need each other at this point. They kind of need to present that, no, we're still together, at least, even if they're not happy. That kind of would make sense to be the presentation, so that at least they have one another as allies, because right now they literally have no allies except for each other. What do you guys think? Leave it in the comments. I absolutely love chatting with you guys there about all of this. It's always such an interesting and fun time. I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you so much for being here with me. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you would like to, you can click the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you can be notified when I post my next video. I should have 2 bonus videos coming for you besides the Fashion Friday this week, so I'm very excited for that. And if you did like today's video, please click the like button and share it with anyone else you think would be interested. Thank you so much again. I will see you next time. Have a happy day, everybody.